City Junction, River City, next station stop.
Credit is no good for a notion salesman.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
Aboard, all aboard.
Cash for the merchandise, cash for the button hooks,
Cash for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods.
cash for the fancy goods, cash for the soft goods.
Cash for the noggins and the pagans and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly paper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker, 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 you can talk, you can talk, you can talk, 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 bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Well, it's a Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people want to go, want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
Gone, gone. Gone with the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill. Hill?
Hill.
Hill?
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 Hill.
No!
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Never heard of any salesman Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's the fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang beat, bell ringing, great coat, neck or nothing, rip roaring every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill, Harold Hill.
What's the fella's line? What's the line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what? He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums. Big brass bass, and the piccolo with uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat, and a big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and now and then a Jew's harp.
No, the fella sells bands, kids' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, just crossed the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state. Aboard, all aboard.
All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about this fella Harold Hill.
Say, you really know Harold Hill?
Never saw him in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered and rolled out to the city limits on the rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till that happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rolled out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play. Well, and to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
So what's so wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. And he can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. Why, I'll catch up with that swindling two-bit thimble rigger, and when I do, I'm gonna squeal on him so loud.
You sure mad, Charlie. I'd like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Well, it won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Hill wouldn't try to sell them neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll give Iowa a try.
Don't believe I caught your name.
I don't believe I dropped it.
Anvils for sale. You can beat our anvils, but you can't beat our price. Anvils for
There's nothing halfway about the Iowa way. We treat you when we treat you, which we may not do at home. There's an Iowa kind, a special chip on the shoulder attitude we've never been without that we recall. We can be cold as a falling thermometer in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so by God stubborn we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never see eye to eye. But what the heck? You're welcome. Join us at the picnic. You can have your fill of all the food you bring yourself. You really ought to give Iowa a try, provided you are contrary.
Good morning, Mayor Shin.
Good morning, Mayor Shin.
It is if you want to go around in these drawers all day.
There I was in the Madison County Hospital and nobody come to see me. Cousin Will never come. And Aunt Bertha never come. Your Aunt Bertha's dead. Well, she wouldn't have come anyway.
We can be cold as a falling thermometer in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so by God stubborn we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never see eye to eye. But we'll give you our shirts and a bag to go with it. If your cross should happen to go.
So what the heck? You're welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Even though we may not ever mention it again. You really ought to give Iowa, Hope God, Iowa, Dubuque, Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Keokuk, Grace, Clear Lake. Ought to give Iowa a try.
Mr. Squires, I be in an interested in a rig for Sunday if you could accommodate me.
And expect you ought to see the man in charge of hiring rigs, who's late as usual.
Gregory Marcellus, you old son of a gun. But Greg. Professor Hill's the name, Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you was coming?
Well, I didn't know I was. Besides, how'd I know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? Why, you were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Aw, too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, I got myself a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toppelmeyer. Boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
So, what's the new pitch? Aw, you're not back in the band business.
Yeah.
I heard you was in steam automobiles.
Well, I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
Yeah.
So tell me, how you gonna start the pitch?
Oh, same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. But tell me, give me the lowdown here first, Marsh.
You'll never get anywhere with these stubborn Iowans in the band business, Greg. Besides, we got a stuck-up music teacher who'll spot you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The librarian? Oh, she's female.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Point her out to me when she comes by.
I will. So how you gonna start the new pitch?
Oh, under the same old way. You know, get that music teacher off balance, and then I gotta get your talent out of the serious trouble it's in.
But River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create something. I'll have to create a desperate need for a kid's band. Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Well, nothing. Except the billiard parlor just put in a new pool table.
You never had a pool table here before?
No, just billiards.
That'll do. Okay. Now, if you'll excuse me, Marsh, and don't forget, music teacher.
Music teacher.
Mr. Dunlop?
Yeah?
Why, sir, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you're unaware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Yes, sir, say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a bigger certified and proud to say it. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spent with the cue in my hand are golden. Helps cultivate horse sense, a cool head, and a keen eye. Ever taken trying to find an ironclad lead for yourself from a three-railed billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score the ball-playing game. But I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in any puck. And I call that sloth. First big step in the road to the depths of degradation. But this for wine on a teaspoon, then beer for a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son will be playing for money in a pinchback suit. And list us on big out-of-town Jasper, here and tell about horse race camp. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sit down and ride on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch, make your blood boil, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets on the table. Pockets mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B that rhymes with P and it stands for fool. And all week long, your River City youth be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled, or the beefsteak pounder, or the screen door patched. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yeah, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking about the kids in the Knickerbocker, shirt-tail young ones, picking in the pool hall windows after school. You got trouble. Folks, right here in River City, with a capital T that rhymes with P and it stands for pool. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I want to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on when they're loafing around that hall? They're trying out Bevos, trying out Q-bibs, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up the telltale breath with sin one fine night. They'll leave the pool hall, headed for the dance at the armory, libertine men in scarlet women, and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son or your daughter to the arms of the jungle animal instincts, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brains, the devil's playground, trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With a capital T that rhymes with P and it stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones borrow after school.
My children's gonna have trouble.
Brothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz bag? Are certain words creeping into his vocabulary? Words like swell and so's your old man. Well, so, my friends, you got trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
The capital T that rhymes with P and it stands for pool.
That stands for
We
pool.
surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
My children's gonna have trouble.
Yeah, we got terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15-numbered balls is the devil's tool.
Devil's tool.
Yeah, we got trouble, trouble, trouble.
Oh, yes, we got trouble. Here we got big, big trouble.
With a T.
With a capital T.
With P.
That rhymes with
That
P.
stands for pool.
That stands for pool. Oh, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. Right here in River City. We got no T. That rhymes with P. That stands for pool. That stands for pool. Right here in River City. Right here. Gotta figure out a way to get the young ones more after school.
Excuse me, did you drop your,
No.
didn't we meet somewhere before?
No.
I'll only be in town a few days, and perhaps we could,
Good.
Not you, daughter? Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. exercises.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase followed me all around town.
Oh, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now, Amaryllis, don't die. So don't worry, me a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, if a woman has a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks.
Now, Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
Now I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Now, Mama, do you think that I'm an alone common masher? Now, really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to that Linda Paul Bunyan, St. Patton, Noel Webster. You concocted for yourself out of your Irish imagination, your wildest stubbornness, and your live-headed moral roots.
Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that the way to walk into the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss for me, boy. Young man, that lady over there is your sister.
Hello, Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it if you'd come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis is asking you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S. Because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis! Amaryllis! He's fine. Why does he get so mad at people just because of his lisp?
It's not only because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the Evening Star. You have to do it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
There, dear. Don't cry. You have plenty of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never. I'll end up an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my cross-hand piece?
Yes, dear.
See, without a sweetheart, a girl has no one to say goodnight to on the Evening Star.
Yes, I know. For the time being, just say, good night, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be, sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart, when lovers are older they say. But I can depend on a wish and a star, as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be, sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night, good night, good night.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Lily McKechnie, for leading us into singing. As mayor of River City, I welcome all of you river citizens to the 4th of July exercises here at Madison Park. Fourscore. Fourscore. The school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watanya girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle, My Wife. And which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie, will take a leading part.
To 20 in the Indian tongue. 18 to the better fifth. Shut who shot me, George?
Who set off that track?
I know who did it. Tommy Jules did it. Tommy Jules did it.
I wouldn't leave if I was you. Miss Yen will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who's a disgrace to our city. For the Kane's fireworks spectacle, the last days of Pompeii, will take place here tonight, provided it don't rain, which it's likely to do, since the Gazette predicted fair weather.
What do you mean by that? If the Gazette predicted fair, it ain't gonna rain.
Sure did, Urt. That's why we're prepared for a storm.
Wait a second, the Gazette's acting most of the time, and you know it.
Never one more guy.
Seems like number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
Oh, she's late all right.
She's right on time. Let's go get one.
Never been alone. You know that you watch traveling mountains always right.
Were you members of the school board? Quit bickering in public?
All in the world that I said.
Never mind. They just debate. 4-7.
We heard there was a pool table in town.
That's what I heard.
Now, just a minute.
Is there a pool table or isn't there a pool
Will you allow me to get along with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises until we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's resist an interruption. Keep our young kids pure. Like that, fellas. Keep our young kids pure. Friends, may I have your attention, please? Your attention, please. I can deal with this trouble with a wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Kids Band. Oh, think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with the gold trombone? Ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls come a-tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I mean a kids band, do you hear me? And River City's going to have a kids band. I mean, she needs it today. Professor Harold Hill's on hand. River City's going to have a kids band. And as sure as God made little green apples, that band's going to be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred, and you'll see the shimmer of crashing cymbals. You'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the glitter of trumpets, da-da-da, and you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great Creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade with 110 cornets right behind. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the dreams of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun with 110 cornets close at hand. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed timpanis on horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double-barreled euphoniums and big bassoons. Each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery. Thundering, thundering, louder than before. Clarinets of every size and cornets who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
76 trombones, 50 counterpoint, 110 cornets blaze away. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and their marching still right today. 76 trombones, 50 counterpoint, 110 cornets blaze away. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and their marching still right today. 76 trombones, 50 counterpoint, 110 cornets blaze away. The rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and their marching still right today.
Men, this calls for courteous action. That man is a spellbinder. I haven't seen all people so excited since the night Frank Gauchi and Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind. I want that man's credentials. Got that hoodlum. He almost blew up my shin.
Thank you, Professor. Have to make an example of ringleader, you know. What he does, the gang does.
Jilly Clyde, let me go.
You wild kid, yeah? Chasing after my oldest girl down Main Street. His father's one of them day laborers down south of town. You wild kid, yeah? Now you stay away from my oldest girl or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails.
I wasn't either tagging her on Sunday.
You were? my little Gracie Senior.
We was just walking together, Jilly Clyde.
Don't you contradict me. I saw you, and my Gracie saw you, and you stay away from her. Now, Hill, I want to see you down at City Hall at 10 o'clock on Monday morning about this band thing.
I'll be responsible.
I want his credentials.
You don't know this kid. He's tough. This gang's waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I want to talk to you about being in the band.
Oh, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Oh, I don't mean playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? You ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple times.
You did? Why, you're my man. Do you realize that nobody's ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hold the music.
Jilly Clyde. Wonder where I could get some wire from.
Check your cellar, son. That's where people keep wire. Oh, and, Tom.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, miss. Oh, young lady. What's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me. God.
Zanita, do you know Tommy Gillis?
Why?
Tommy, this is Anita. Escort the young lady home.
Only except that I'm not going home. I have to go to the library.
Well, then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
God.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow, but you made a couple of mistakes.
Oh?
The mayor owns the billiard parlor and that new pool table.
Ooh. Hey, what was my other mistake?
That's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Oh.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We'd like to have your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificate.
Oh, nothing of the kind. Letters and papers. Make it put up a bond!
What am I hearing here? All right, you, sir. Say, ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man.
Well, then talk slow.
Down here. Ice cream.
Slower.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir, I hear.
Ice cream.
Now you.
Ice cream.
And you, sir.
Ice cream.
From now on, ladies, you'll never see one of these gentlemen without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream.
How can there be
Any sin sincere? Where is the good in goodbye, in goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear, while one single star shines above. How can there be any sin insincere? Aren't we sincerely in love? Oh, we're in love.
You don't live around here, maybe alone, do you?
No.
I've got some wonderful caramels over at the hotel.
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. You see, I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary Conservatory, gold medal class of '05.
Even should that happen to be true, what right does that give you to follow me around all over town? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there, which may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Say, Greg. Oh, Mark. Hey, don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. Had her eating out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
You did?
Yeah.
Boy, did you cut a swath tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leading the band. Just like when you used to imitate that band concert fella. You know, back in Joplin.
Yeah, I'm in rare form these days, son. You just keep your eye on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It used to only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Well, it still does. But it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Uniforms? Greg, you haven't added uniforms.
Yeah, uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books?
Yeah.
Greg, you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. I mean, not for any 4 weeks.
Mars.
But you don't know one note from another.
Well, you see, I got a revolutionary method called the Think System, where you don't have to bother with the notes.
But in 4 weeks, the townspeople will want to hear music. You'll have to lead a band.
Yeah, but by that time, the uniforms will arrive and leaving me enough time to collect and leave. Well, I've got this is a refined operation, son. I've got it timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand of the last train out of town. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Washburn.
Ah, gonna line some up a little canoodling, huh?
Well,
Say, I could fix you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl. Teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. No, sir. Well, that gal spins webs no spider ever. Listen, boy. A gal who trades in all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, gleaming, glorious, pristine goddess. No, sir. For no Diana will I play phone. I can tell you that right now. I smile. I flinch. Ignorance be compared to bliss. I spark, I fizz. When the lady who knows what time it is, I cheer. Hooray! For the virtue I'm too late to say. A sadder but wiser girl for me. No bright-eyed, restless baby all day. No, sir. That kind of gal ties knots no sailor ever do. I prefer to take a chance on more adult romance. No do a young miss who keeps insisting all the while she keeps resisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, for she's the fisherman, I'm the fish, you see. I flinch, I shy. When the gal with the delicate air goes by, I smile, I grin. When the lady with the touch of sin walks in, I hope, I pray. For Hester's earned just one more A. The sadder but wiser girl for me, for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me. Sit black in.
Oh, Professor, we're all agog, simply agog. I'm a queevy.
We're so excited about the band.
I'm Ethel Toppelmeyer, Marcellus has spoken for.
And this is Mrs. Squires, and this is Mrs. Hicks, and of course you know Eulalie McKechnie, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I couldn't say. I could not say. Oh, no, I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I am reticent.
Oh, I understand perfectly, Mrs. Shin. But you know, my music plans include a ladies' auxiliary for the dance, and... Wait! Oh, wait, do that again.
Oh, what?
Oh, your foot! The way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, you see, I have a bunion there that
Oh.
bothers me.
What grace! What natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Oh, Mr. Hill!
Oh, you must accept the chairmanship of the ladies' auxiliary on the classical dance. Mustn't she, ladies? Oh, Miss Shin, every move you make bespeaks Del Sart. You will, won't you? Say yes, Mrs. Shin.
Oh, Eulalie McKechnie. Well, I values dancing. Oh, well.
Then you accept?
Oh, yes, indeed. And I would like to say.
Thank you. And now I'd like to know about the piano player. Marion Peru, I believe the name. Well, after all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot. Pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, cheep. little more, pick a little talk, little pick a little talk, cheep, 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 come along, pick a little more, pick a little talk, little pick a little talk, cheep, 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 cheep.
Professor, her kind of woman doesn't belong on any TV. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books.
Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac. And the worst thing, of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but
I'll tell. The man lived on my street. Let me tell.
Stop! I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town until she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Let's see, Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison?
who did he think he was, anyway?
Well, I should say show off. Gave the town the library, too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he gave all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes, that woman made brazen overtures with the gift of guarantee. And Bill Clinton, I'm silver voice, he took her thing. Just now we're down in Yorkville, looking where his holy steel hair, where one is hard to see.
Left River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer,
Just a minute here. We need your credentials.
Well, gentlemen, I've got just what you want over at the hotel. If you give me just a second. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you I know everything, and believe me, it's all right.
What are you talking about?
Well, you must have been very young, and anybody can make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations. After all, I'll only be in town a few days, and the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
What would you like to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
You know, I'm listening, Marion. The librarian. Marion. Look, Marion. Marbles. Let's see, 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and a big glassy right in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I say? My dear, to catch your ear, I need you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us if the library caught on fire. The volunteer hose brigademan had to whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumbled and I fell on my whatchamacallit, and I'd lie on the floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. But in the moonlight, a man can sing it in the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I tried in here to make it clear, I love you madly, 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 librarian. Marion is a long lost cause I can never win. What the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin, they taught me out loud to an librarian such as Marion. Madam Librarian. The ladies' dance committee meets on Tuesday nights. Marshmallow. Well, we had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. It's getting on about noon. Why don't you head on back and get some dinner? I think I'll try a last couple by myself.
All right, bye, Professor.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You don't have a license.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor. I'm just making some sketches here of your unusual architecture.
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting without a license is malfeasance in this county. Why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
Mr. Mayor, your finger.
What?
Well, the spread of that finger, why, that's hereditary, you know.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that your son has a little finger that's perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. Well, it means that at last America has produced a virtuoso that can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
What? Well, how can I get one of those horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, yes, sir. Just think I could have missed out on this. I haven't got a son. You
you got a daughter, haven't you, Mr. Mayor?
You be down to City Hall with your by-God papers at 3 o'clock.
That's 3 o'clock this afternoon?
I couldn't have made myself any plainer if I'd seen a Quaker on his day off.
Why, hello, Miss Peru.
Oh, good day, Professor Hill.
What, Miss Peru? Do you realize that you've got the facial features of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your son has that same firm chin, the same splendid cheek muscles, why, by George, well, not that it could ever really be great, you understand?
Oh, is that so? In the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, because all the really great cornet players were Irish. There was O'Clark, O'Kelly, O'Mendez,
But Professor,
O'Klein.
we are Irish.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that cinches it then. Your son was born to play the cornet. Here, sign here. And that'll be $7 earnest money. And now, of course, there won't be a payment due now after this until the first day of band practice. Now I'll need his measurements for his band uniform.
Oh, his uniform.
Why, hello, son. Yeah, why, of course his uniform. Yes, sir. And that'll give him 4 weeks for excitement, to anticipate, to look forward to. Yes, sir. Never put off the demands of tomorrow for the pleasures and excitement for today.
Would it have
Oh, stripe? Why, yes, sir. A big wide one right down each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you can get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. You know, out of a crowd, I'd pick you for hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, harp-playing, a Varnine pension, Tyrus Hall, minstrel-singing Irishman. Be gotta be jealous. Where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary alma mater, the Institute is my alma mater.
Where's she now?
Yes, gold medal class of '05. Oh, how to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
You know, I thought there was something familiar about that name. I've been by to see you a couple of times this week.
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He's got my joy, you know.
Oh, your husband's musical. Well, perhaps if I could talk to him. He and I could...
Burst in on everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs. We're not interested.
Marion!
Well, let's see, that's 1 for and 1 against. Now, why don't we let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Well, I'm sorry, but, that's all the more reason why your brother ought to have something beautiful like a coronet.
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who doesn't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. As to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Why, Miss Peru, I'll have you know that I've been all across this land. You know, I get the feeling she likes the idea. Of course, she's a little cautious, but I like that in a woman. Now, you just keep me alive, and I'll be back at the end of the week.
Oh, Professor, about the boy's measurements. I make all of his clothes, you know. Sleeve 21, waist 18, and crouch 14.
All right, thanks. I've got to get back to the hotel.
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really the way you...
No need to apologize, Mr. Peru. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Waiter Peru.
Good day, Professor.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana Conservation Class of '05. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing, traveling salesman who comes along. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right, but it's a well-known principle. If you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large gold volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Well, now what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of a white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not expecting Luther Greiner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage, and that buggy of his with the removable back seat. But I'm not expecting a knight in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot or an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew is deep in us, sure enough. All I want is a plain man, all I want is a modest man, a quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man, to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested interested in us than in me. And if occasionally he'd wonder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die.
Zanita! Hey, Zanita!
Tommy, Mom and Pop are sitting right there in the bay. Ye gods!
All right, then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Edward League night. Meet you where?
At the footbridge?
You see, isn't that just what I was talking about? Last time at the lumberyard, now at the footbridge. And where were you having me meet you next? In the black color Calcutta? Ye gods!
I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
My music holder for a marching piccolo player. It still has a couple of minor flaws. You see, whenever you hold it steady enough to hold the music steady, well, then you cut off the circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Well, yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with a horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials, I said, on the morning of July the 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife is off dancing at any and all hours
But
instead of in
George!
homes. The school board is singing up street and down alley instead of taking care of city business. And my oldest girl is banoodling around with some wild kid from the wrong side of town, and my business has fallen off so far I can't find my balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I have something very interesting to show you in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I could ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of alt 5.
If you'll just take a little time to read about the conservatory,
Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo! Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon is just coming up from the depot.
I like the story this time of the hour. Come on, Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the band instrument.
Band instrument?
Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday. It might take out a great mackinac. And once I got some grapefruit from Tampa.
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a cross-cut saw.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. A prepaid surprise or COD.
It could be curtains, floor dishes, or a double board.
or it could be.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be.
Something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got some salmon from Seattle last September.
And I expect a new rocking chair.
I hope I get my raisins from Fresno.
The DARS in a cannon for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming now. I don't know how I can
Here's your cornet.
My cornet, gee, thanks, Professor.
All right, kids, listen. Now look, you'll have personal instruction, individual instruction, just a little later with your new instruments. Now, in the meantime, stay off the streets. Get familiar with your instruments. And remember to think the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da.
Sister, isn't this the most scrumptious vocal thing you ever saw? I never thought I ever see anything so scrumptious as a scrumptious vocal thing. Oh, sister.
Round on for you, Mr. Hill. But I better, by God, hear some tooting out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll have you down in front of the grand jury at the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
Oh, come, George. Tip us Fugis.
What's your phraseology? Get along if you want. I've got to get something from the librarian. About that book.
The ladies' dance committee meets on Tuesday nights at the gymnasium.
Come, ladies, let's practice. Practice makes perfect. Are you ready, ladies? Yes, please, twice. We need the practice. Oh, lovely, ladies. Oh, lovely. Now turn. Take the body with you. Oh, splendid, ladies, splendid. Now, let's have a go at our Grecianer. One Grecianer. Two Grecianer. And a fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. Oh, splendid, ladies, splendid. It's wonderful.
Nellie, you're not giving enough.
Gentlemen, if you're ready.
Miss Marion.
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup.
It's you all the way into town.
It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up. And it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you? It's you. Yes, it's you. Oh, yes, it's you.
Please, kids, Miss Schill, have my hair.
Missy Washburn, we are entitled to 5 more minutes.
Well, if you think you can hold them back, go ahead.
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new stuff Mr. Hill taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
The Shaboogie!
Now, a woman who'll kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy. But a woman who'll wait till the second time out is anything but fussy. And a woman who'll wait till the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his Shaboogie, 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 Shaboogie.
The girl who's hard to get.
Shaboogie, Shaboogie, Shaboogie.
But you can win her yet.
Walk her once just to raise the curtain, then you walk around twice just to make the curtain. Once more in the flower garden, she will never get sore, you can beg her pardon.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, re, do, so, mi, re, do.
Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. If you get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for pepper, she will never get sore on her way to supper.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, do.
Now little old Sal was an old gal as anyone goes for me to see her once where she is. And looking and to get her sweet back to the fancy cooking. One more for a half a rum, she will never get sore on the way to supper.
And he fa sol la si do, si do.
Ship poopy, ship poopy, ship poopy.
The girl who's hard to get.
Ship poopy, ship poopy, ship poopy.
But you can win her yet.
Hi, Professor, show us some new stuff. Mr. Shin, Your Honor, your daughter and I have been going steady behind your back.
Why, yeah.
We'd rather be doing it in front of your back, but...
Doing what? Never mind.
Zenita's scared of you, but I'm not. I should think you'd hate to have your own daughter scared of you, Julie Clyde.
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, I'll by God horsewhip you till hell won't have it again.
Oh, but George!
Not one poot out of you, madam.
I think he means Pete.
Yes. Now get out of this public park.
I got as much right in a public park as anybody.
Right? How do you talk about any right around here? Aiding and abetting this swindling symbol salesman? You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now get out here, you wild kid.
Papa, it's cabulets like you that cause blood in the marketplace. You gods!
What's your phraseology, little woman? Go home. You lady?
But George,
you tend to your dance.
Oh, my dance. Oh!
I'll handle Zenita. Hanging around wild kids on the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can't. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I've read that book from cover to cover all week now and didn't find a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please.
I'll handle your hash as soon as I get the premises off of my oldest girl. Yes?
Well, in the meanwhile, I just want you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. Why, that boy's got the confidence of every kid in this town. You'll be waiting to stand in line to shake his hand by the time our band has its first concert.
By the time your band has its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of all the broken legs they'll get from stumbling over their beards. I'll tell you something about my young friend. Oliver, boy, Daisy, I want that man's references, and I want them tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's as slippery as a Mississippi sturgeon.
You mean you want his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. I couldn't have made myself clearer if I'd have been a button hook in the well wire. Mr. Mayor, we have no authority to do this, sir.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably. And I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, well, that wasn't anything.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Miss Baru, not at all. After all, a man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What was it the poet said? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, while the brave man only 500. Well, anyway, the mayor was still pretty upset about his billiard parlor. Now, I suppose a letter of recommendation from a musical authority like yourself would help, but I couldn't ask you to do anything like that.
Why, Professor Hill,
You mean you would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to ask you about Winthrop's cornet.
Cornet. Oh, yes. Mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine. But you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Oh, yes, blats.
Yes, and he sings the minuet and G-da-da-da-da almost constantly.
La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da. But he never touches the cornet. He says you told him it wasn't necessary. He tells me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Well, Miss Peru, I'll admit that the think system is a revolutionary method, but so was Galileo's conception of the heavens. And so was Columbus' conception of the egg. I mean the globe. And so was Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. But can't stand around here in public and discuss things like this. Perhaps you'd allow me to call. When may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Miss Peru, we've just come to tell you that your kind of woman belongs on the Del Starch Committee.
You were such a dear tonight, dancing the shipoochie with Professor Hill. You dance like some fairy princess with a moonbeam through your floor. You had a golden shimmering hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold a forgiving heart of purest gold. Here, where a woman's heart should be. Fairy princess, moonbeam floor, golden shimmer, silver shoes. Now unfold, heart of gold. Here, where a woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply adore them all. Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac.
Oh, sorry, Professor, but we got our orders. We all been deputized.
Well, congratulations. You know, I've been trying to give you fellows my letters and credentials, for the last week or so now, but it seems like every time we get together, you get off the subject somehow. I've got just what you want over at the hotel. I'll be back in just a second.
Afraid I'll have to go along with you.
Oh, well, see if I got my key. Well, what's this? You know, it's a letter of testimonial from Madame Rennie. Why, she was the only female bassoon player on the Red Patch Circuit. Yeah, of course, that was just her stage name, you know. She was actually from Moline. Her name was Lida Rose Quackenbush.
Could I see that for a minute?
You know, you never forget a name like that. Lida Rose, it's just like the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose,
to get the sun back in the sky.
Lida
Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lida Rose, oh, won't you be my Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of love, dream of them, dream of a love song that might have been. Do I love you?
ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Ah, yes, I know. Ah, fiddlesticks, just open your mouth and let it come out.
Now, Mama.
Now, nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you see him alone. And if you haven't got the gumption to tell him how you feel.
Tell him?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little lady like Kent.
Mama!
Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing? Fishing? With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, I still got some words left.
Did you have a good time?
Scrumptious. He told me all about some town, Gary, Indiana. And he said they'd take me there someday. He taught me a little song that hardly has any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. That's the town that knew me when. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened on this elegant syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Palos, West York Road, but Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened on this elegant syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is this one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Palos, West York Road, but Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta show Aunt Marilla my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da.
Leave the dishes, Mama. I'll do them.
Don't you have to get ready for the sociable?
There's time later.
Shins live around here somewhere?
Oh, the Shin home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, criminy. I see you're the piano teacher. You must know about this fella Hill trying to form a kids band here?
Yes.
Well, don't you worry about that no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I gotta see Shin. Now, number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop here. Wish it were 20, though. Would sure like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cow, anvil salesman. But just now I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fella's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me. He is not going to spoil Iowa. So what kind of music teacher are you anyway? You couldn't see through him. Why, he's no more professor.
Oh, I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. Why, he's a fine director, and his scholastic ability...
Now, wait a minute. Fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but that's...
But nothing, girly girl. That fella's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
If you'll just listen to me for a minute...
I'd like to do more than that if I had the time. I sure got the inclination. But I gotta get back on that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite with somebody on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl. I'll see you next time through.
You'll never catch the train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir, I gotta leave word. And I can see you're not the one to leave it with.
Just a minute, Mr. Cowell. You don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
I mean, I don't know you, and...
Yeah? Nah, I'd need more time anyway.
I mean, as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met an anvil salesman before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that.
Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? I missed that train, I'll get fired. And I gotta leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me. Now there's your train. Run for it.
You double-dealing little... Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county in Illinois, and he's taking it away from every one of them. That's 102 counties. That captain of piano teachers like you, he cozies up with just to keep their mouths shut. I'll tell you, this Shirley girl, neither one of you heard the last of me yet.
Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lila Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marianne. Lila Rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. Now here's my love song.
Marion, who was you talking to just now? Oh, Professor Hill.
Good evening, Miss Brew. Miss Marion.
Come on up and sit on the porch with Marion. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Well, shall we set, as your mother said?
Well, I don't really.
You did ask me to call.
I did? I didn't mean anything by that.
Oh, well, I'm not suggesting that your invitation was anything more than academic enlightenment, but the think system. Well, I've been by a couple of times this week to explain it to you, but it seemed like there was always a lot of people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Well, good. I wouldn't want anybody beating my time. You wouldn't? Why, no, ma'am. Well, I guess tonight's not the convenient night. I'll see you later at the sociable.
Professor Hill?
Yes.
Is it true that you've had 100... I mean, what I'm trying to say... Is it true that you've developed a think system?
A what? A think system. Why, sure. And it's really very simple. Just as simple as whistling. Nobody has to teach how to use your lips when you whistle. You just think a tune up here and it comes out clearly here. You just close your eyes and give it a try before you answer.
I take your word.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well,
Have they all been fascinated as I have with the think system?
Well, some more, some less. You know, one young lady had thought up the system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Oh, have I said something wrong?
Please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. I'm sure you have many more important things to do than to explain the think system to me.
I can't think of one.
And I'm sure I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Well, you shouldn't list everything you hear. I even hear rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty?
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so that Mother and Winthrop and I could have some security. Surely you don't believe those stories?
Oh, of course not. But that's exactly what I'm saying. And why do you suppose people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness.
Yeah.
Jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Yes, well, jealousy mostly, I guess, starts rumors about traveling salesmen. Now, what have you heard?
Nothing about you personally, just generally.
What have you heard, generally?
Just that... But of course, it stands to reason that jealousy and disappointment can lead to... I mean, take you, for instance. Your attentions to customers and, well, teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? Well, I mean now, honestly, mightn't they?
Well,
And so you say, if a salesman or somebody else were jealous, well, then they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
rumors and things.
Oh, well, why, of course.
It just goes to prove that you shouldn't believe everything you hear. I mean, if you discuss things.
Miss Marion, I'd be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you if we could just sit down. You do sit, don't you? Your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could go sit on a big hollow log over at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't. Please, some other time, maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, you keep piling up a lot of tomorrows, you'll find you've collected a lot of, nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Oh, so would I.
Footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama!
What?
I just told Professor Hill that I'd meet him on the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and the saints be praised it works.
What does?
I've been using the think system on you from the parlor.
La da 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 dum bum ba da 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 ba da la da 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 dum dum da dum da dee.
Greg, come here.
Marcellus, is that you?
The uniforms have arrived. The kids are in them already.
Oh, yeah.
The people will be screaming for music if those kids show up over the sociable.
Well, go get the rig.
I got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Listen, you want to turtle whirl around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap, you go ahead. But
listen, don't worry about me. I'll meet you back at the hotel. Oh, Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, I meant you're about 26 years late. Took you all that time to get to the footbridge with a fellow.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly while not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, you don't mean to say that you think I'm trying to sell you something.
Oh, no. You've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
I don't remember giving anything.
Oh, yes, you have. Something beautiful. That's why I came, and I'm glad. Oh, please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. I know there have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that is no reason for me not to feel grateful for what you will have left behind for me.
But Marion,
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them ringing. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses waiting
was all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was
There's so much you don't know about me.
Greg.
Oh, excuse me. I was expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. This could be it.
What do you want?
Look, who's a salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
You nuts? Had to keep her off balance, I told you.
She's so far off balance now, you couldn't tell her from a catboat in a hurricane.
Now, listen, Buster Brown, I've been up through the ranks in this skirmish, and I'm not resigning without my commission.
But Greg, you can't get anywhere out here in the open.
Oh, you think this is bad? There's a place on the other side of Madison Park that makes this look like a little old lady's home. Now look, get out of here. Go and beat it. I'll meet you back at the hotel. Well, not a minute's rest in the music business. Now, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Oh, we don't have to go into all that right now, do we?
No, we don't. Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately. But she did plenty after you came.
About what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory, gold medal class of '05. Harold, there was no Gary Conservatory in '05.
Why, there certainly was.
Because the town wasn't even built until '06.
You knew all the time?
See ya at the sociable.
You knew all the time and you didn't say anything.
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came, I tore this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all my heart.
You knew all the time you didn't say anything, but you little... Well, 110 cornets blazed the air. I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I hard up and down the square.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
A star is shining, it's bright as the light.
There were horns of every shape and kind. Sweet dreams, my someone, if dreams there be.
On 110 cornets play the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. So good night, my someone, good night.
Greg, this guy's crazy. He's going all over town, stealing everything.
I'll say I'm crazy. Missed my train, probably lost my job. But I got you now, Hill, and you'll pay. Why, you'd be in the clink right now, hadn't have been for that piano teacher. I told her all about you. Would she do? Lollygagged me around till I couldn't get the shin. Little dried up man-hungry doxy round here.
Shut up. I'll kill you, you loudmouth.
You bully! You big blow-off! I'm gonna stay in this town until you get yours. Up, down, through, and sideways. Why, you never knew the territory!
Come on, Greg. I got your stuff. The rig's in the alley. Come on, come on.
One Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain.
Listen to that man!
You gullible green grass goats! Can't you get it through your head when you're being swindled out of your eye teeth? Right now, this minute, I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket.
Same thing. He said his hand in your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and yours, little lady, ever since the first moment he came to this town. While there's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band, there never has been any band, there never will be any band. And if you don't act right now to hunt that man down like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now, do you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back!
After him! After him! And when you find him, bring him back. Try the low road. Look down by the mill. By the creek.
Marion, where you been? I've been looking all over for you.
Harold, I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run away. Oh, please go. They're even talking about tar and feathers.
But Marion, I've got to talk to you.
Oh, it's all right. You don't owe me a word, not a word. Don't you know that? Now, please go. Go. Hurry. You've got to go now before someone comes.
Greg, he isn't anywhere around here. Let's try down by the creek.
All right, hold on there, son.
I'm not your son. Leave me go.
Well, not until I talk to you.
I won't listen. You wouldn't tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
Would not.
Would too. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave me go, you big liar.
Oh, listen, you wanted to hear the truth. Now you're going to hear all of it. Now, I'm bigger than you are, so just quit wiggling. Now, there are two things you're entitled to know. One is you're a wonderful kid. That's why I wanted you in the band in the first place, so you quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's going to be a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, it's none of your business now that I think about it.
I wish you'd never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
Yes, Winthrop. I believe everything he ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us, and it all came true just like he said. The flags and the lights and the colors and the symbols.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid in this town looked and acted all summer. And the parents, especially you. And does Mama wish he's never come to River City?
You do, don't you?
No, Winthrop, I don't. Now go, Harold. Please, hurry.
Go on, Professor, hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
Well, for the first time in my life, I got my foot stuck in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. Oh, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Greg, they're here. They're here. This way. Come on.
Oh, Professor, that way, that way.
Which is why I interrupted the program at this point. Rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this time. Yes. And always remember, fellow river citizens, I can only remind you that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from happening.
What have you done to get our money back?
That professor's collected over $300 just tonight, just for uniforms.
We haven't even seen any uniforms yet.
He slipped me, I told you.
I haven't seen any uniforms or my boy, not since supper.
He's a kidnapper. Fine situation here.
Stop. Just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. Yes, sir, and retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those that are here, as I have heard, who are molding tar and gathering feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of you who could forget our everlasting Iowa stubborn, chip on the shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful to him for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you'd like to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there is one person here that doesn't think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, let him stand up. You lady, sit down. And the rest of you standing there like a total Shropshire sheep. Have you people forgotten you bought expensive band uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children would be taught to play in the band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?
What is it?
Wait a minute, mates, wait a minute.
Buddy, that's Buddy's clarinet.
Think, kids. Think.